This is the Wellness Club, where we dive into all things wellness, from nutrition to fitness to productivity and more. We are exploring the science to help you feel your best inside and out. I'm your host, Cass Camp, and I am so happy that you're here. Welcome to the club. Hello and welcome to the Wellness Club. My name is Cass. Thank you so much for listening and thank you for being here. Let me just set the scene for you as I'm recording this. I just got back from the gym. I took an everything shower. My hair is still damp. It's air drying. I have lotion all over my body, feeling moisturized, feeling hydrated. I have a coffee next to me, planner next to me. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling pumped up, and I'm really excited about this week's episode because we're talking about something that I think a lot of people struggle with, and that's snacking. As a personal trainer and nutrition coach, I've seen it time and time again with clients where a client will come to me, they're putting in all the work, all the energy, they're drinking their water, they're eating healthy meals, they're going to the gym, they're doing everything they possibly can. And the thing that was holding them back were these mindless snacks that they didn't even realize were ruining their progress. And I don't want that to happen to any of you guys, because if you're listening to this podcast, you care about your wellness. You care about bettering yourself. And so I'm going to give you the inside scoop on snacking because it gets a bad rep, but it's not 100% bad. And that's what we're going to get into in this week's episode. So let's just get one thing clear. Snacking isn't inherently bad. Having snacks throughout the day, having those little boosts of energy throughout the day are not inherently bad, but it does matter how and what you're snacking on. There's a difference between having a snack in between meals and mindlessly snacking sitting at the couch. I think we've all been there where we have these irresistible foods that once we're sitting at the couch, if we have that bag next to us, we're going to eat that entire bag. For me, that's goldfish. I love goldfish to a point where they are so addicting that I cannot buy them. But if I do buy them, I need to make sure that I have them portioned out. I'm not sitting at the couch just mindlessly eating them, because I will eat the whole bag. I love goldfish. And that doesn't make me bad. That doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make me unhealthy. I'm doing air quotes right now. But if that was a habit that I did religiously, yes, that would not be a healthy habit to have. Having snacks throughout the day is not inherently bad, but the snacks you're choosing do matter. Not every snack is created equally. And I wanted to say that straight off the bat because I think a lot of people, especially on social media now, vilify snacks and make snacks sound like this awful thing. Like, if you just cut out snacks, then you'll see progress. Or if you just cut out your snacks, then you'll lose the body fat. And I don't think that that's the one size fits all approach for everybody. So I just wanted to say that straight off the bat because there are a lot of instances where I actually recommend people to snack more throughout the day. So that kind of advice doesn't fit for every single person. And that's what I want to dive into in this week's episode. When we think about snacking, the type of snacking that people mainly have an issue with is the kind of snacking that's mindless. It's the kind of snacking that you're just reaching for the chips because they're in the pantry. You're just reaching for the cookies because they're on the counter. You're just going into the break room and having the donuts because someone brought them in and it's another person's birthday. That's the kind of snacking that people tend to have an issue with. And there can be a downside to this type of snacking. First of all, those types of snacks that I just listed, they're highly processed foods. They're ultra processed foods that are literally made and engineered to be addicting. I made an entire episode about this. I'll link it in the description. But the food industry understands food science. And this type of food science creates these foods to have all those things that make something addicting. It tastes really good. It crunches right in your mouth. It makes your saliva glands more activated. It has the colors that you're looking for. It has all these things. And those things are literally engineered to make you more addicted to these foods. And when I say addicted, I'm not saying like food addiction completely, but just that if you have an apple and you have cookies, you're probably going to want to go for the cookies over the apple. And that's because these ultra processed foods are made to be like that. They are literally ultra processed to make you want to buy them, to make you want to eat them, to make you want to go for them. And they're even engineered so much so that they don't fill you the way that an apple would or the way that an unprocessed food would. So you can just keep eating and keep eating and keep eating. And part of that is not your fault because those foods are literally made to be like that. But if you don't know that and you're not aware of that, and even when you do know it, it doesn't stop the fact that these foods are very easy to overeat and indulge in. And because these foods are not as filling like the way that an unprocessed food would be with the protein and the fiber, these ultra processed snacks are very easy to overeat, and you might not even feel completely full or completely satisfied. But over time, that type of snacking can hinder your progress in the gym because you don't even realize how much of those snacks you actually ate. I told you about the goldfish example. I could literally eat a whole bag of goldfish and not even feel full. But if I had the amount of cheese that would equate to those goldfish, I would actually feel so full, right? I would feel sick to my stomach if I ate that much. But because these snacks are made to be like that, they don't fill you that way. They don't make you full. They don't make you sick. They don't make you feel like that. Same with like a potato chip example. You could eat an entire bag of potato chips and not really feel that full. But if you sliced up the potato and ate a real potato the size of a potato chip bag, you would be full so quickly and you would not overeat the potatoes because those foods are filling, they're satisfying, they are satiating. The ultra processed foods aren't. They are literally made for you to be able to overeat them. And because of this, there can be a lot of downsides to this type of snacking. If you're snacking on ultra processed foods like potato chips, goldfish, cookies, all those processed foods we see in the shelves, there can be a lot of downsides. One of the biggest ones is energy slumps. And you might have noticed this maybe without even realizing, where you're going throughout your day, you have your lunch, you have a snack after lunch, you eat some goldfish or some chips or something like that. And then about an hour or so later, you start to feel a crash in your energy. You start to feel tired. You start to feel lethargic. You just start to feel moody or irritable. And naturally, that might cause you to get that 3:00 coffee because you're used to falling into that slump. But what we don't realize is a lot of those slumps actually come from the foods we're eating. And if you swapped those snacks out or swapped that ultra processed food out for something that's higher in fiber, higher in protein, you'll actually feel more satiated throughout the day and your energy won't crash as much. A lot of times when we're at work, we're in the break room, we're eating all these high sugary, ultra processed foods. We think it's just the 3:00 slump. We think, oh, I just need my 3:00 coffee. I need my energy drink to wake me back up. But really, you just swap out your snack for an apple or something a little bit healthier, less processed, you'll feel a lot better. Your energy levels will stay throughout the day. Another thing that a lot of people are seeing are digestive issues. And digestive issues are complex. Our digestion system is very complex. But to keep it short and sweet, ultra processed foods do not help out our digestion. And if you're having irritable bowel and not good bowel movements, right? Either really constipated or the other way, it could be linked to these ultra processed foods that maybe you're eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and your snacks. Or maybe you're staying healthy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but throughout the day you're snacking or at night you're snacking. If you're still seeing issues in your digestion, really take a look at those snacks that you might not be calculating when you're thinking about your foods. A lot of the digestion issues people have are not just related to the food, but how the food is processed and how it's made. So a lot of processed foods are made in these low quality oils, added chemicals, added gums, and added ingredients that aren't even really food that irritate the digestive tract. And if you're having a lot of digestive issues, I really encourage you to look at the foods that you're eating first and then go from there. Another downside with the snacking is the weight gain. And I've seen this with clients that are so disciplined and diligent, and they're doing their food diary and they're doing everything to really make a change in their life. And the thing that they forget or don't calculate are the snacks. They're writing down their healthy meals. They're making a healthy breakfast. They're making a healthy lunch, but they're not accounting for these random snacks throughout the day. The donut in the break room, or stopping on the way home and grabbing something, or at night, oh, I'll just have a few potato chips and it ends up being half of the bag, right? Those little things do add up. And if you're really putting the work in and you're really looking at your meals and looking at your workouts and really making that effort in your life and you're still not happy with your progress, take a look at the snacks. We're going to get into how to snack the right way because I don't say cut out snacks altogether, but these mindless ultra processed snacks, that can be the one thing that you need to switch to really start to see progress and start to see progress quickly. I've seen it with my clients. I've seen it in my own life. I can tell when I'm snacking more and snacking less, or snacking on the wrong things versus the right things. It really makes a difference in all that progress that you're working so hard to do. And another downside to these snacks are the actual sugar cravings and addiction to these snacks. So I talked about it a little bit already, but these ultra processed snacks are literally engineered. Like, they are hardly even food. They are engineered to be addicting, and they have so much sugar, unhealthy fats, added chemicals, added ingredients. You don't even really know what you're eating. And I'm not saying don't ever have these snacks. I love to have ice cream every now and then, and goldfish and all these different things. But if this is part of your daily routine, this is a great place to look and evaluate your wellness. These foods are engineered to make you crave them, to make you want them, to make you desire them. And because of this, a lot of these foods have a lot of sugar in them because our bodies love sugar. Sugar is like a treat. It's like a drug to our brains and to our bodies. Some research has even shown that sugar is more addictive than cocaine and drugs because of how it lights up our brains and lights up our dopamine and all those different things to make us crave it and want it. And what happens is, you start to have more sugar, you start to want more sugar, and you're in this whole cycle of wanting sugar, having sugar, wanting sugar, having sugar, to the point where you're literally craving it all the time like a drug. Sugar can have so many negative health consequences, and I know it's good, and I know we're in this self-care era of like, just treat yourself and have a sweet treat, but we do really need to look at this from a long-term perspective, that sugar does have negative health outcomes. Too much sugar can lead to a lot of different things. First of all, just your mood and your energy, that's more surface level, but even deeper things like your insulin sensitivity, diabetes, hormone health, high blood pressure, heart disease, chronic inflammation all over your body in your joints, sleep issues, energy crashing. Like, there are so many things. And once you reach the point for one of those conditions, the rest follow quickly after, if nothing is changed. High blood pressure to heart disease, fatty liver, kidney failure, like all of those things are connected. I don't want to scare you and make you feel nervous, but this is something that we need to talk about. It's scary how much sugar is in our foods, and that it's normalized almost to eat these ultra processed foods and be actually addicted to them. Like, I don't think that it's just a matter of willpower. These foods are literally chemically engineered to make you want to eat them, to be addicted to them, to make you crave them. So it's not just a matter of willpower. It's literally an addiction. Being aware of this and getting the tools and understanding this is one step into the right direction to really be in control of this in your life. Like I said, I'm not saying cut out all those foods altogether, because they are delicious. They are very good and satisfying, and they taste good. But long term, you do need to be aware and be intentional about when you're having these snacks and why. And if it's emotional, like if you're emotionally just craving these foods, really look into those deeper things, see a professional, talk to somebody, because that can really lead to some negative health outcomes later on. So now what? You're probably thinking, okay, you scared me. You told me all this. Now what am I supposed to do? I have 6 different tips or steps to really look at your snacking and make sure you're snacking smart, making sure you're snacking right, because there is a right way to snack. So number 1, make sure that you are eating enough throughout the day, and really look at the foods that you're eating throughout the day. If you're skipping breakfast, if you're skipping lunch, if you're trying to eat a small dinner and you end up under eating, your chances of mindlessly snacking skyrocket, because your body is craving food. And what happens is we end up grabbing the easier, more convenient, less healthy, easy to grab snacks, when really your body's just hungry for a meal. If you're so hungry throughout the day, you're so much more likely to grab those unhealthy, convenient snacks. But if you make sure that you're eating consistent meals throughout the day, your energy levels will be better, your moods will be better, you'll feel more satiated throughout the day, and you'll end up snacking less because you're actually fueling yourself properly throughout the day. I think we've all been there at least once, where we had a busier day than normal, or we just skipped breakfast, didn't have enough time to make something healthy. We go all day without eating, And then as soon as we see something in front of us, we go crazy and eat way too much to the point where we feel sick. And it was usually the convenient, not as good for you option because we got to that point of just being so hungry. Try to avoid this and make sure that you're eating consistent meals. When you look at your meals, and when I say make sure you're eating enough, not only do I mean make sure you're eating enough calories, but make sure you're eating enough protein, especially. You could easily reach the amount of calories and be severely under eating protein. And protein is one of those macronutrients that really satiates and fills you and satisfies your hunger. So if you're eating enough protein, you're not going to be as hungry to start craving other foods because you're actually full. Protein also has so many other benefits to building muscle and stabilizing your mood and everything like that. So it's really important to make sure you're getting enough protein especially, but making sure you're just eating enough in general will really help you reduce that urge to snack. The second thing is make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. Our bodies confuse thirst for hunger, and a lot of us are dehydrated, which is making our bodies think that we're actually hungry. Get yourself a Stanley Cup, get yourself an off-brand Stanley Cup. It doesn't matter about the brand. Get yourself a nice reusable water bottle and fill that sucker a bunch of times throughout the day and actually drink it. If you want to, add some lemon, add some lime if you hate the taste of water. Making sure you're having enough water and staying hydrated throughout the day, I think will really help you curb your snacking habit. If you feel that urge to snack, drink some water and then reevaluate if you're still hungry, because what happens is a lot of us are actually just dehydrated. Number 3, take a look at your cravings. If you find that you're always craving certain foods, it might be a link to your vitamins or your nutrient deficiency. So if you're craving chocolate, for example, sometimes that can be a magnesium deficiency. And we know that a lot of people are deficient in magnesium. Or if you're always craving fatty foods, take a look at your omega-3 levels. Different cravings mean different things, but do not just go into this blindly. So if you're always craving chocolate, don't just start taking a magnesium supplement randomly. Actually get your vitamin levels checked. Go get blood work, go to a doctor, get it checked, because you might just be craving sugar. It might not be the magnesium. You might just be craving sugar, and that's why you want the chocolate bar at the end of the night. But sometimes we do have deficiencies that are actually leading us to crave certain foods. So I do think it's worth looking at. I think everyone should get blood work in their lives and look at their vitamin levels and look at all their different numbers. Even if you're not having any health issues, it's important to have a baseline so that in the future, if something does come up, you can see, oh, this number went down, this number went up, this means this means that, here's what I can do. Don't go into it blindly. Don't just buy supplements just because. I have an episode all about the micronutrients, so if you want to listen to that, I'll also link that down below. Definitely use the science to lead where you're buying supplements if you even need them. Okay, number 4, and this is one that I do every single week, and that's making sure that I have my go-to snacks already prepared. If you are busy and you are active, there will be plenty of times where your body actually needs that extra fuel, but it's important to have those healthy snacks already prepared for you. It's when you're grabbing those convenient, less healthy, just right in front of you options where snacking can really hinder your progress. But if you have these healthy snacks already ready to go, you are so much more likely to go for them, and they're actually so much better for you. You guys know I teach dance at a high school, so I'm moving all day. I'm teaching dance all day. I have 6 classes. I'm moving all over. My steps are always so high. Even if I don't work out, I'm very active at work, which I'm blessed. I love that. But because of that, I need to have snacks in my lunchbox ready to go because I get hungry throughout the day. And there's nothing wrong with having snacks throughout the day, but it's important to have the right snacks. Some of my favorites are apple and peanut butter, but actually like cut it up and have it prepared, have the peanut butter prepared. Beef stick, Greek yogurt with mini chocolate chips. This is my favorite. I've put so many people onto this because it is the perfect sweet treat replacement. Like if you are used to eating ice cream or chocolate or something after dinner, swap it out for Greek yogurt with mini chocolate chips. I like the Oikos 000. It's super high in protein. It's clean ingredients. I love it. That's what I have. There's no added sugar. The thing about yogurt, you want to look for that added sugar because a lot of yogurts have so much sugar in them. Don't buy those ones. Buy the ones with no sugar. So Greek yogurt, some mini chocolate chips, and it will satisfy you. It's good in protein. It's just one of my favorite snacks. I have a whole snack list also on the Instagram that you can look at, but have these snacks already ready to go and really limit the barriers to grabbing these snacks. So if you are going to eat apples for the week, cut them up in advance. Who cares if they get a little bit brown? Or if you do care, have the knife and a mini cutting board at your job so you can cut it up during your lunch break. Don't just throw it in your bag and never eat it. Make sure you have the things that you need to prepare it and to eat it, because then you'll be easily able to grab them. Because we know at work, in the office, it's always someone's birthday, someone's bringing in cookies, someone's bringing in donuts. And if you don't have your other snacks, you're going to want to grab those donuts. But if you already cut up the apple, brought the Greek yogurt, you are so much more likely to go for those healthier snacks. I even buy the Greek yogurts that come in the individual containers already portioned out. I know it's more money. I know it's not as good for the environment, but I'm actually eating them instead of just throwing them out. And to me, that's worth it. That's what I go for. When I have fruits and vegetables for the week, I cut them all up on Sunday so that I don't have to worry about it throughout the week. And it makes such a big difference. It takes a little bit of extra prep work on Sunday, but you do it all at once and you actually save time, you save money, and you end up eating it. So definitely have those snacks already prepared and make sure you're eating as natural, unprocessed foods as possible. This is going to really limit that sugar craving, the processed food craving, and just that mindless eating throughout the day. Okay, number 5. This is about if you are going to have those processed snacks. If you're really craving a processed snack, you haven't had it in forever, it's okay to have it. I do not deprive myself of anything. I like having ice cream. I like having goldfish sometimes. I like having all those delicious snacks. They're delicious. If I'm going to have it, I make sure that I portion it out. And I'm not weighing it on the scale. I'm not measuring how much, but I am going to grab a bowl and pour it in there and only eat the bowl. Because if I don't do this, I will eat the entire bag. I already told you guys, these are made to be addicting. So to kind of work around that, I'll make sure I portion it out. I'll put it in a little bowl and I'll only have that and then I'm done. And honestly, usually when I reach the bottom of the bowl, I don't even want any more. But if the bag was in front of you, it's so much easier to eat a lot more than you originally planned. One of my guilty pleasures is Reese cups. So what we'll do, me and my boyfriend, is we'll buy like a little sleeve of them, but we get the individually wrapped ones and we'll only have one. We unwrap it, we eat one, and then we're done. Versus buying the king size one, then you want to have 2, then 3, and it's so much easier to overeat them and overindulge in them. So if you're going to have the processed snack, that's totally fine, but make sure you portion it because these foods are made to be addicting. And number 6, and this one's really important, if you do have the bad snack, don't beat yourself up and throw away the rest of your meals, okay? If you do indulge, you overeat, you don't portion it, you don't follow any of these things, don't beat yourself up over it. Just do better next time and pick yourself back up. One of my clients actually told me this analogy. Shout out Carly. I loved it. Her therapist and her talked about this, where basically they were saying eating one bad meal doesn't make you automatically unhealthy. Just like if someone is used to eating fast food and all these unhealthy meals for every meal and they have one salad, that doesn't make them automatically healthy. And the same is true the opposite. So if you're normally eating well, you're watching what you eat, you're trying to eat natural foods, and you have one bad meal or one bad snack, it doesn't make you automatically unhealthy. It's just one thing. And don't feel bad about it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just do better next time. I think sometimes we get caught up in that all or nothing mindset where we do one thing that we didn't really want to do and we throw the rest of the week away. That's one of the worst things you could do. Wellness is about longevity. It's about what you can do forever. And there will be plenty of times where you have something that's unhealthy. And the best thing you can do is learn how to deal with that and pick yourself back up next time. You don't need to feel guilty about it. You don't need to feel bad about it. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. You don't have to throw the rest of the week away. You just pick yourself back up and get back into your routine and continue on and move forward. That's going to be the way that you make this part of your lifestyle forever, is by knowing how to indulge and pick yourself back up, because there will be plenty of times where that happens. And the sooner you learn that, the better off you'll be for the rest of your life. Those are my 6 tips on snacking. Let me know what you thought on Instagram at the Wellness Club XO. And as a reminder, we're hosting the Wellness Club retreat this summer, July 25th to the 27th. We still have some spots available, so I'll have everything linked in the description. If you have any questions, let me know on Instagram. But thank you so much for listening. Share this with a friend, share it on your story. It really helps the show out. And I'll talk to you next week. Let's have a great week. Bye.